There are some missing person cases that feel impossible to explain, cases where somebody is talking one moment and then suddenly they're gone forever. No scream, no warning, just silence. This is the mysterious disappearance of Brandon Swanson, a case so chilling. That one phone call still haunts people more than 15 years later. May 14th, 2008. 19-year-old Brandon Swanson had spent the evening celebrating with friends after finishing his first year of college in Minnesota. Late that night, Brandon began driving home alone, but somewhere along the rural back roads, he accidentally drove his car into a ditch. At first, it didn't seem serious. Brandon called his parents for help and calmly explained what happened. He told them he wasn't injured, just stuck. His parents immediately got into their vehicle and started driving to find him, and that's when the nightmare began. For nearly an hour, Brandon stayed on the phone with his father while walking through the darkness trying to guide them to his location. But there was one terrifying problem. Brandon believed he was near one town, when in reality, he was miles away in another direction entirely. The farther Brandon walked through fields and gravel roads, the more confusing the situation became. His parents kept flashing their headlights, hoping Brandon would see them. But somehow, they kept missing each other in the darkness. Imagine that moment, a lonely Minnesota night, empty farmland stretching for miles. A teenager alone in the darkness with only a cell phone keeping him connected to his family. Then suddenly, everything changed. According to Brandon's father, while they were still talking on the phone, Brandon suddenly shouted one word, "Oh, shht!" And then the line went silent, completely silent. At first, his father believed the call had dropped. He kept calling Brandon's phone over and over again, but there was no answer. Brandon Swanson was never heard from again. Search teams flooded the area the next morning. Police officers searched fields, rivers, abandoned buildings, and nearby roads. Dogs tracked scent trails. Volunteers combed through farmland for days. But despite massive search efforts, no trace of Brandon was ever found. No body, no confirmed sightings, nothing. And that's exactly what makes this case so terrifying, because investigators still don't know what caused Brandon's final scream. Did he fall into water? Did he become injured somewhere in the darkness? Or did something else happen after that phone call suddenly ended? Over the years, theories surrounding the case have only grown darker. Some believe Brandon accidentally fell into the nearby Yellow Medicine River during the call. Others suspect he may have encountered foul play after becoming lost on isolated back roads late at night. And perhaps the scariest part is that nobody truly knows, because after that final moment on the phone, it's as if Brandon disappeared from the face of the earth. Even now, years later, the mystery continues haunting people across the internet. Not just because Brandon vanished, but because millions of people can imagine themselves in that exact situation. Lost, alone, walking through darkness while trying desperately to find home. And then suddenly, silence. Somewhere out there. The truth about Brandon Swanson's final moments still exists, hidden somewhere beyond the fields, roads, and darkness of rural Minnesota. But until those answers are finally uncovered, the disappearance of Brandon Swanson remains one of America's most haunting, unsolved mysteries. A young man, a late-night phone call, one final scream. And then Nothing.